Hello, we're Group 21, the Boston Brewers, and this is our project, RubyOnTheRocksDB. The idea and inspiration for this project essentially came from the professor when he would always talk about beers in his databases as he was teaching us. And it got us thinking about how there's no real great medium for people to kind of search for beers and see what they might like or where to go to get these beers.
So that's that, and some of our features include making reviews for individual beers, which inserts reviews into the beers table with a rating. And we also are able to search up breweries and beers and display beers by their various attributes. One notable thing is that every beer belongs to a brewery and has one style, and all of this is stored in the database. Our advanced functionalities also include visualization using Google Maps APIs and a recommender system based on advanced machine learning.
We will now check out the beers page. When this page is loaded, the image for each beer is asynchronously fetched from Google Images. Alongside the beer, the brewery, beer style, and ABV are displayed, as well as the average rating if the beer has any ratings. In order to see only the beers that have ratings, you can click on the Rated Beers checkbox. These beers displayed all have ratings. To go back to the page that has every beer, including those without ratings, simply uncheck the box. If you want to search for a beer, you can simply type the name into the search bar, click enter, and all beers matching that name will be displayed. If you find the beer you are looking for and click on the name, you will be brought to the page that has a description about the beer that includes the ABV, IBU, OG, and SRM, as well as a description about the beer and a place to write a review about this beer. For writing a review, you can drag the slider, type in the review that you want, and then click Submit Review.
On the right side of the page, we show similar beers based off of the beer attributes currently on the page. And we show at most 3 similar beers for any given beer. The second box, Beer Viewing History, looks at the JavaScript local storage variable and keeps track of all the beers that a user has seen by storing the beer ID in the local storage variable. So if I want to look at another beer, I can click that beer, and now if you look at the Beer Viewing History box, it has that second beer as well. Let's take a look at the breweries page. The breweries page is very closely related to the beers page, and it shows the brewery name, the website, the year, and the location. And you can search by brewery names as well. So now let's take a look at the first advanced functionality page, the map page. The map page uses JavaScript and communicates with Google Maps API to fetch the world map and allows us to place various markers of different colors, as well as a heat map, and finally, marker clusters. So first I'll talk about the various colored markers. Those represent different beer styles and a different color for every beer style that we have in our database. And so if you hover over any beer style in the legend, you can see that the map filters to show only breweries that serve that beer style typically. And so if you zoom out in the Google map, you'll see that those color-coded markers are actually all over the world. And again, when you hover over a beer style, you can see that all around the world, I know now which breweries serve that beer style. And I can toggle this feature on or off, as well as toggle this heat map, which shows the clustering of all these different breweries all across the world. And you can see that when I zoom in, those clusters get smaller and broken up so that it allows me to pinpoint where exactly those breweries are located.
Okay, so now we'll talk about our second advanced functionality, the beer recommender. There are 2 ways of doing this. If you're an expert in beer, you should try this way. Here you can fill out what types of beer you like based on ABV and other criteria, and click Recommend Me Some Beer. This algorithm that we have written will take into account all these averages along with previous beers you had looked at before to recommend you a beer. The closer the number is to 0, the better the recommendation. If you're not an expert, you can also just name a beer that you like, and it will do basically the same thing.
Thank you for watching our presentation.